in the Coca-Cola Championship. It is Burnley against West Bromwich Albion. Commentators Tony Gale and Bill Leslie.
Well, here we are at Turf Moor, a typical Old English football ground on St George's Day. And what a big evening it is for that man. Tony Mowbray has experienced highs and lows since back in October he took over at West Bromwich Albion. This is absolutely pivotal. They know that with 2 games to go they have the chance to get the better of the chasing pack, which is enormously congested just now after the weekend's results so far. 3 points separating 7 sides, including Preston, and there is their manager here. Not actually wearing it on the outside, but you can bet that he'll be supporting Burnley here this evening.
Certainly, and nicking a few quid while he's doing it, Bill. Do a little bit of scouting and a bit of radio work at the same time. Shrewd, these managers, aren't they?
Well, it's a very different Burnley from around 6 weeks ago. 5 months, 18 games they went without winning a game. It saw them plummet down the Championship, and they were harbouring very real concerns of relegation. Those have now gone after the weekend. They are now mathematically safe, and having seen off so many sides here in recent weeks in emphatic style and without conceding, they have real hope. And they have an early scare as well, as Zoltan Gira flashed an effort wide in the first 20 seconds.
Well, set up well by Ellington down the right-hand side. Kamara just hangs out, sets up Gira. I think it's on him before he knows it, really. Can't really adjust his feet to dig it out, and got his shot away. Talented player, Zoltan Gira. And that's a position he does like getting into, just tucking in behind those strikers. And he can score you some valuable goals.
Many key areas out there, but particularly your eyes are drawn to the wide areas for West Bromwich Albion. Zoltan Gira and, of course, Jason Koumas on his day, a match winner, not just at this level, but he's done it for Wales internationally, of course. Burnley will be fired up, make no mistake, and they would dearly love to have another say here against one of the big clubs. And it's a big club that they face later on in the week. Of course, they travel to Roy Keane's Sunderland, and he's here to cast an eye. Still a rare taste of defeat in the back of his mouth after what happened at Layer Road at the weekend. Sunderland's first of 2007. The unpredictable nature of the Championship just continues to baffle and to enthrall in equal measure. There are former West Bromwich Albion connections in this Burnley side. In goal, Brian Jensen, and in midfield, James O'Connor. And this is Jason Koumas. He's been out of the side for the last couple of matches due to niggling injury problems, but Tony Mowbray feeling the need to call on him here tonight.
It's always been a little bit of a conundrum where he wants to play him. At middle of midfield, right-hand side, left-hand side, he's a footballer. And a very good one at that, and I think Tony Mowbray has to find a way of accommodating him, because he is a special talent. And let the runners do the running, the players do the playing.
Well, that wonderful goal-scoring purple patch towards the end of 2006, didn't he? 4 goals in 6 games in December. They've dried up for him since then, just 2 in 2007 so far. In many ways, great conditions for football here, Tony, aren't there, with the drizzle we've had over the last couple of hours here at Turf Moor. The pitch in a pretty good condition for this time of year, but there's a slightly tricky, blustery wind around the stadium too.
Yeah, not too bad. We turned up, Steve Cotterill had his shorts and t-shirt on, said it's been like the summer the last couple of weeks, but this is real football weather tonight.
Koumas, what a good ball in that is, and that is where he is so dangerous.
It's a great ball, isn't it? And if it's hitting the target, he may score. Whips it in lovely there, and I think Ellington maybe stops a little bit dead in his tracks. Maybe he thought Jensen was coming out for that one. Great ball. It was like a set piece, wasn't it? Sat still. I think he maybe could have attacked that a bit better. Super ball in, wasn't it, from Koumas? Centre-back really didn't have time to adjust his feet. Caldwell on that far side to get under the flight of the cross, simply because of the pace on it.
Match referee tonight, by the way, is Michael Jones. West Bromwich Albion might be pleased to see him again. He took charge of their best win of the season some months ago now, when they rattled 5 past Coventry City. Greening thought about making a jump for it. Here's Andy Gray, a season beset with injury problems for him. And Akinbiyi and Gray take their position in the centre.
Well on that far side, doesn't he, Jones? Cuts back in onto his right foot. Good bit of play. And again, maybe the cross could have been a little bit better, a little bit high, isn't it? Akinbiyi's free on that far post. Drives it in maybe rather than curling it in the same way as Koumas did up the other end. Maybe could have been a little bit more quality on the cross after that outstanding bit of play initially.
We talked about the threat of the West Bromwich Albion wide men, and of course they're more notorious names, but Burnley themselves have players who can cause problems and have been in good form. Wade Elliott and Steve Jones, and the return of Andy Gray has coincided with them coming to form as well. Here is Gray, not giving a moment's rest to McShane. Éric Djemba-Djemba.
That's where Cotterill want to see his full-backs like Duff getting right down on the wide sides, getting their crosses in, helping the wide players.
Djemba-Djemba finds Gray. Strong challenge in by Perry, who might just be a little bit ring rusty. 27 games since he's played any part in the first team. Did look like his playing time at West Brom was over after the arrival of Tony Mowbray, but such as the injury situation, they've had to call him back into the first team fray. This is Greening. Gira. Koumas has come centrally and scored an absolutely beautiful goal for West Bromwich Albion.
Well, there's the ability, but I think if he looks at it again, the keeper may have done better with that one. Great bit of ability coming in off the right-hand side. Keeper shouting at his defenders, but I think he could do better with this one. See links with Greening here. Just look at that little bit of skill going between two players. Gets his shot away. Keeper gets a hand to it, but it's not enough. This is the lovely bit of skill. Look, 1-2, does the pair of them with one or two touches. Keeper gets a hand to it. I think he can do better than that. It's a great strike from Koumas, and that's what we were talking about. That ability that you've got to accommodate for. Super strike. 1-0. Great start for the Albion.
The dream start for West Bromwich Albion. Target for them tonight is to open up what would be a 5-point gap over the sides that are clustered just out the playoff positions, and that of course would be with 2 games to go for everybody. Corran looking to play a nice expansive ball out for Gira. Ellington is in there, and they have another! Rat-a-tat goals in quick succession for West Bromwich Albion, and Burnley are floundering.
Well, take that. What a start for the Albion. Ball comes in from the far side. Great crossfield ball, and Gira does really well. Whips this in early on the volley. Up to Ellington. There's a deflection off the defender there. Looks like Thomas for me. Kind of misheads it, doesn't he, Ellington? Here it goes. He's up there. Gets stuck between the pair of them. It looks like it comes off of Thomas for me. It's a great early cross on the volley. That's what it's all about, the goal for me. Up Ellington. And it's a double one there, isn't it? A double whammy, and that time the keeper's got no chance. What a start.
First goal in 8 games for Nathan Ellington. And West Bromwich Albion showing the sort of form that their supporters have been waiting a long, long time for. So nervy, weren't they, last week against Sheffield Wednesday when they were beaten at home. Well, their perfect start just got a whole load better. Koumas and Ellington with the 2 goals within the first 8 minutes at Turf Moor. This is Gray. Wade Elliott. Looking for Akinbiyi. Jones contested, but was beaten in the air by Albrechtsson. Corran. Kamara, the top scorer for the Albion. Greening. Now Zoltan Gera. Koumas. Corrin again, whose pass set off the move for the second, and Ellington swings an optimistic boot at it.
Well, two goals really that were so different. Some outstanding ability, wasn't there, from Koumas for the first goal, and the second goal was all about two balls, one crossfield pass, and then this early cross from Gera. He comes in, that early, defenders can't adjust themselves. Up they go together, and it's a bit, who does it come off in the end between Ellington and Thomas, but I'm sure he's going to claim it, isn't he?
I don't think there's any doubt about that. 1 minute, 17 seconds, the time between the two West Bromwich Albion goals, by the way.
Great goals though, weren't they? So different. As I was saying, Koumas was all about making that yard in the middle of the park, and then the second goal was two great balls. One crossfield pass and one really early cross. Fantastic execution for me. It's not all about short passing or long passing this game. It's about what's on at the time. And that was a perfect execution from Albion.
Against a Burnley side full of confidence after a 3-0 win here against Norwich last Tuesday. You can be sure of is that Burnley will still look to make a contest of it, and Harley goes into the box looking for a penalty. The referee took a long, hard look at it before deciding against awarding one.
John Harley makes up the ground, gets the ball from Akinbiyi, gets into the area, and no, doesn't look like a pen for me. He's stumbling into that one, John. I think the referee makes the correct decision.
Put into perspective the way that West Bromwich Albion have started this match. Burnley have only conceded 1 goal in their last 6 games before this. Here's Kamara and Koumas, halted by Djemba-Djemba.
And there's a bit of respite and miscontrol from Jason Koumas. So difficult. He starts on that left-hand side, Bill, but he just drifts in. When he drifts in with the centre midfield players, he then becomes the spare player. And that's what caused that first goal, I think. Made himself a lovely yard of space and got his shot away.
Gray is the target. Now Akinbiyi, former Wolverhampton Wanderers player, of course. And away by Dean Kiley, continuing his ever-present run in the West Bromwich Albion goal. Since his arrival from Portsmouth, that is. Corrin. Good play from him to find Kamara. Gray hunting back, and Burnley have it back. John Harley. Andy Gray. This is James O'Connor, who spent a couple of years at the Hawthorns. Harley, sadly caught a little late there by the West Bromwich Albion challenge. All the best laid plans. He's cutting a confident figure before the game that they could really trouble West Bromwich Albion. They might still be able to, but all the problems are in the Burnley corner in the opening stages.
Quality goals though, Bill, aren't they, the pair of them? And that's the difference between Albion and most of the sides in the Championship for me, but they haven't done it on that many occasions, really, or as many occasions as they should have done. They have got the ability, that quality to open teams up. They have got the type of players like Koumas, like Greening, Gera, Ellington, Kamara up front. Outstanding individual talents, but unless you're playing as a team in a championship which really at times can be a bit of a grind and you have to chisel out results, then you're going to find it difficult. But when they do hit their straps, they're very, very difficult to stop.
Despite all the array of talent, they're still just a couple of points better off than the likes of Colchester, 3 points better off than Sheffield Wednesday coming into this evening's match. So far, so good, though, in extending that gap. Here's Djemba-Djemba and O'Connor. Akinbiyi using his strength to get goal side of Perry. Kylie to the rescue.
I don't even think he's aware that Dean Kylie's coming out. He's too busy holding off Chris Perry here. Look, holding him off, waiting to get his turn in. And out comes Kylie, and he reads the situation well. Experienced goalkeeping, but Akinbiyi should have been more aware that Kylie was coming out of his goal.
They'd have been watching West Bromwich Albion in their recent games, of course, Burnley, and preparing for this match, and they'd have certainly noticed that Albion have a habit of conceding goals without a clean sheet in their last 10 outings. Complexion will be very different if Burnley can get one back. Jones, Harley looping one up. Well, this could come for Gray, it has! Andy Gray pulls a goal back for Burnley, and West Bromwich Albion, architects of their own downfall.
Oh, there's a goal for nothing. Dean Kylie tries a quick throw in, catches it well, tries to feed it out to his own players. The ball comes straight back, and Andy Gray says thank you very much. Straight over the top of Dean Kylie and back in the net. Was there shades of offside? You have to see it again. Just from the side on view, but Andy Gray, that's a thank you very much job. Good interception from Duff. And really Albion overplaying at that stage. 2-0 up. Dino didn't really need to do that. Playing to a central midfield player. Comes straight back down his throat. And Burnley are back in the game.
Well, in around quarter of an hour here, we have seen the good and the bad of West Bromwich Albion, and perhaps in a quarter of an hour spell, seen exactly why they have not been able to fulfil their tags as championship favourites.
Well, there's the ball out. It's an interception from Duff there. I think he's standing in an offside position. There's definitely a touch from Duff. Maybe catches the linesman unaware for me, as he looks like he was slightly offside.
Well, he hasn't had a lot of luck in many ways this season, Andy Gray, with 3 broken metatarsals which kept him out of action for 3 long months. Still struggling to regain full fitness, but the goals have started to come again. That's 2 in 2 after a long spell without 11 games before he netted here last week against Burnley. Against Norwich, I should say. Here's O'Connor. Suddenly a very different atmosphere around Turf Moor.
Well, the mistake doesn't normally come from Dean Kylie, this one does, but this is what has Albion's been all about. You know, you're cruising in the game and you give the opposition a chance. You're 2-0 up. Just hold on to the ball, Dino, more experienced than that normally. Just guilty of overplaying, trying to play too quickly. 2-0 up, keep the ball. Really wasn't in it, was they, Burnley? But now all of a sudden there's a game on their hands.
New Burnley captain as of this year, the January arrival of Stephen Caldwell. So him get the armband, he's looking forward already, I know, to facing his former club Sunderland on Friday. He's looking to pick out Gray here. He was manhandling Chris Perry.
So Gray just backing in and holding him down on Chris Perry there. Good decision from the referee, but it really was a little bit of a bonus. Let's give a little bit of credit to Duff, though. He's the one who nicked the ball in midfield. Fed straight back to Gray. Nicked in, nicked possession, and he's straight back on the attack. Good quick bit of thinking.
Thomas. This is Perry. And Kylie, the former Charlton combination at the back now for West Bromwich Albion. Greening. And Zoltan Gira. McShane. Corin, the Slovenian international. 22 goals he's got for himself this season. Djemba-Djemba, and he's set off a run from deep, hoping that the ammunition could be supplied by Albrechtsen.
Well, they got the ability to take the sting out of it, Albion. The pitch is, although it's a bit breezy, the pitch is absolutely wonderful. You know, if it was dry, and like it has been for the last couple of weeks, it may have been a little bubbly out there, but the rain has ensured that it's really slick.
Koumas again going for the jugular for West Bromwich Albion. Came off the heels of Zoltan Gera, and Burnley can breathe again.
Well, they're lucky because Albrechtsen was in behind Gera, and the ball was meant for him, but inadvertently got in the way.
No coincidence that every time Jason Koumas gets on the ball, Albion look dangerous. That's been the case for much of the season, hasn't it? Kamara. Interchanging much of the time with Koumas, and holding his position on this left. Kamara to allow Koumas to move infield. Certainly exciting in attack, even though they are sometimes brittle in defence, the Baggies. I suppose you look at the men missing at the back and you can understand why Curtis Davis, with his broken foot, is out for the season, even if they go all the way to the playoff finals, which is of course their only route of promotion left available to them. Sam Sodji not here, and Neil Clement has a long suspension to serve after his red card. And speaking of cards, we're going to see the first of the evening here. Éric Djemba-Djemba will be the recipient.
He got a little bit frustrated there. It was a good bout of passing from Albion in midfield. He was chasing the ball, and in the end, when he got a little bit of a chance to have a nibble, he did, and it was undoubtedly a little bit wild. You see Curran just flicks it over him, leaves the leg in there, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And he can have no grumbles about that yellow card.
£3.5 million Sir Alex Ferguson paid Nantes for his services. Greening. Ellington, the scorer of the Albion second. Kamara looking to create a third, but Andy Gray, the scorer of Burnley's goals, back there to clear. Now Akinbiyi can storm forward. Turned back into trouble though in the form of Perry.
I think you're exactly right, Bill. With that pace and power, I'd have just stuck it 10 yards in front of me and had a race. Not that I did have that pace and power, but I know what I would have been afraid of. Him just sticking it in there and getting along, but as soon as he came back inside, he knows it. Look, head in hands, he gave the defenders a chance.
And since he left Burnley the January before last, hasn't played an awful lot of football, particularly this season at Sheffield United. I think he's still a little bit short of match sharpness, and of course with that comes confidence. Maybe a fully fit Adi Akinbiyi, it would have been a different result. Thomas. Turned out nicely. Little touch from Greening has taken it to Koumas, who's trying to release Ellington.
And that's what Koumas does. He doesn't come back and defend, but then of course when an attack is broken up, he's standing in a space, he's ready to go the other way. Maybe a little bit lazy, but you have to accommodate for that with other players in the middle of the park. But as soon as you get that ball to him, something invariably happens. He's made it happen in this first half so far. Breaking off that left-hand side, coming inside most of the time. And he just puts himself in that little bit of a hole in behind the strikers in his own midfield. Of course, if you're defending behind him, like Paul Robinson is doing, you have to be good at one-on-one situations and be able to cope with maybe a little bit of an overload down there, because he's not going to do much defending.
Albrechtsen, the Dane, got it forward. That's Caldwell's header for Burnley.
Can't believe there's only just coming up to 24 minutes gone, Bill. It's everything's happened so far. Great start to the game. We knew there'd be goals in it, didn't we?
Absolutely. Maybe another one here as Burnley probe through Djemba-Djemba. Harley. Space for him to move forward into, should he be of the mind to. Now O'Connor and Duff. Looking for Akinbiyi. Perry defended well. And Koumas can clear. Should be Thomas's ball, but with Kamara breathing down his neck, can lead to a little bit of indecision.
I'm sure you got that right, Bill. Was that Koumas in his own area clearing that one? I'll have to show great defensive work. Jason Koumas back there helping out.
The new Jason Koumas. Well, you mentioned before how West Bromwich Albion were going to have to work hard, all of them, to get something here against a resurgent Burnley side. Perhaps an example we see there of them doing just that.
It was never going to be easy against Burnley, but they gave themselves the perfect start with those 2 early goals. But a little ricket as they did by trying to throw it into the midfield area and getting it nicked and giving that goal away, and make it difficult on yourself. And this Burnley side will fight to the end, believe you me. They'll enjoy themselves tonight, I think. Nothing to lose. They're just competitive by nature, and they can play as well.
Well, they might not admit it publicly. I'm sure there's a little bit in the back of Steve Cotterill's mind, which would love to get the revenge after what was an emphatic 3-0 defeat at the Hawthorns earlier on this season. They were 3-0 down on that occasion in the first half, and that match coming shortly after the public speculation that he might be the man to take over from Brian Robson at the Hawthorns. Koumas trying to wrap his foot around that one. Well, it's a week of semi-finals on Sky Sports starting tomorrow. The Scottish Cup semi-final replay. It's Hibernian against Dunfermline. See it from 7:30 on Sky Sports 2 and HD2 as well. And then the Champions League on Wednesday night. Yet again, Chelsea against Liverpool in the semi-final from 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And Akinbiyi has a problem.
Just getting up for the challenge there, you can see Akinbiyi. Just cops a little one. Nothing much in that, I think.
Well, he certainly looks, he's spent a little bit of time in the gym recently as well, and he wasn't small before, was he, Akinbiyi? Still a formidable presence up front. Good bit of business as well by Burnley to sell him January 2006 for £1.75 million and buy him back this January for 750,000.
In my eyes, he's always been a great athlete, hasn't he, Akinbiyi? And he's got the very best out of his ability for me. People have knocked him. They've tried to say, you know, that he should have a better touch, he should be this and should be that, but he is what he is. And he does what he does very well for me, and he really is a handful for defenders.
Some of his best times in recent seasons have been at this club. That's what persuaded Neil Warnock to break Sheffield United's transfer record to take him to Bramall Lane in January before last. Elliott, here is Akinbiyi. Corrin with the interception. Now O'Connor. Here's Koumas. Guerra's come across to help out the Welshman. Now Elliott. Burnley looking to play it out. Koumas has other ideas. McShane.
That's where I think you've got to give it easy. Just slip it into the midfield, slide it along the floor, No need to go in the air there, trying to hit them long diagonal balls as a centre-back. Just zip them in along the floor into your strikers or into the furthest midfield man's feet.
Coroner's picked out Ellington. Now Greening. No one has played more football for West Bromwich Albion this season than he. Robinson. Koumas. Now Ellington. Blocked by Caldwell. Koumas will have a crack, and this time he got across Jensen.
He showed Ellington how to strike the ball there. That's a great strike. Real technique, great degree of difficulty on this as it comes back. Look, it's spinning. It's on the half volley. He realises that. It's back across the ball. Forces the keeper into a great save. Got low down to his right, but makes it look very easy at times, Koumas. That was a great skill.
Always worth having a shot from distance as well on a night like this with a slightly skiddy playing surface. Helped on by Ellington. Only going to be one winner for that header. Gira. Movement from Kamara in front of him. McShane. Gira. Now Cotterill. And Koumas. Duff stood up to the task well, and it is a big task he's got on his hands in containing Koumas tonight. Albrechtsen.
He's got a problem, Duff, Bill, in that Koumas, very rarely see him out on that left-hand side. He drifts inside, and then, of course, as a full-back, you're not marking anyone. And you ask yourself, who do I mark? Well, you've got to tuck yourself in and try and help your centre-backs and maybe push into one of those other midfield players, because you don't want to make yourself redundant, otherwise you're a man down. But that's the problem that you have with someone like Koumas. He's clever, coming in off that left-hand side, making up the spare man in midfield. In there, that's difficult, see, and he's pulling Duff out of position. Now he's going back into position, and he's not really marking anyone at the moment, you can see.
Djemba-Djemba can't afford too many of those. He is in the referee's book already, remember. Koumas will deliver. More great curl on the ball, and it is headed wide by Gira.
And there's Gira. He makes the run early. This is the sort of telepathy that two good players have. He makes the run, and Koumas can spot it quickly. Whips it in. He knows Gira's in front of his man already. And I think Gira can do better than that. For a wide player, he's a very good header of the ball, and should be hitting the target at least there.
Look at the sides that Tony Mowbray's named in recent weeks. In fact, go back to when he took over at the Hawthorns, and I do sense sometimes that there's still a little bit of confusion as to which his best 11 is. We've got the constantly scoring Kevin Phillips sitting among the substitutes. John Hartson, who's had his injury problems there as well, but not easy to fit so many good players into the side, and everyone, particularly the supporters of West Bromwich Albion, have their views as to where it could be different. Chance here for Burnley. Elliott to deliver, looking for Thomas, and it is a corner for the home side.
That's a good defending header, isn't it? I think it's Gira back there defending this time. Gets himself in the space. Not many wingers come back, get themselves in the space and get brave headers in like that. Good defending from a right winger. Only that often.
Elliott with Burnley's corner. A little bit of pushing and shoving in there. I think it was Duff on McShane.
I think they're trying to block each other's markers off, and the referee spotted it actually. So Thomas and Duff on the far post. There we go. there was a push in the back by Thomas, and that's silly really, because it's Duff who's going for the ball and was nearly under the flight of it. Silly foul to give away.
Helped on by Ellington. Kamara on the prowl. And here now is an opportunity that nearly presented itself to Gira. Albrechtsen couldn't keep it in. The basking, almost summer-like conditions that a lot of the country have been enjoying this week have suddenly deserted Burnley over today and this evening. Still very gusty drizzle all around Turf Moor.
I remember that, Bill. I lived up here for a year, lived up in Blackburn, just down the road there, and every morning when I open my curtains the pavements were wet, I can assure you.
Nothing like a bit of nostalgia.
Must have been back home.
Here's Kamara. Now the Akinbiyi. The visitors have surrendered possession again. O'Connor. Kept in by Harley. Jones. And this is Gray. Djemba-Djemba. Wade Elliott. O'Connor trying to disguise the pass forward to Gray.
Good defending by Chris Perry, just nicking in front of Gray there. They were going sideways and square, but as soon as they went into the striker, plenty of experience, Chris, for me. Wimbledon and Spurs, nicknamed Rash at Wimbledon. Used to have a man marking job as a youngster there, and nicknamed Rash because he was all over attackers. Very, very difficult to get away from, Chris Perry, and experienced, and I'm sure they welcome him back today. It's in these scrappy stages of the game in a championship. This is when Albion have to tough it out for me, Bill. Normally, sometimes they concede goals in these sort of passages of play when it's not nice and they're not passing the ball. They still have to compete and hang in there.
It would represent a major setback if they'd surrendered a 2-goal lead by half-time. Burnley have worked it to Harley and worked it well as well. He's got beyond Kamara and he's got a good left foot on him when he gets it right.
Oh, his eyes lit up there, John, didn't they? I've seen him score some spectacular goals from range. Turns well here. Just turns out of trouble when you think he's lost the ball. Now sets himself here. He's got a man wide. Oh, but the old eyes lit up. Hey, being on telly, John, isn't it? They say you want to get that golden goal. Get it out there wide and set up that crossing chance.
Caldwell. This is Robinson. He's taken over the captain's armband these days in the absence of Curtis Davis. Kamara finds Koumas. Greening with a burst into the box. Thomas did well to cut it out. Danger not over yet, though, for Burnley. Taken off the toes of Koumas. Corran now. Robinson. They're stepping it up, the men from the West Midlands. Here's Greening. That's a lovely ball into the box. Burnley have got away with it, though.
Great shape on that cross from Greening. Not adverse to coming out on this left-hand side. He's very good crosser of the ball.
Albrechtsen has taken it in his stride, but it is skewed wide. Ball still in play. Chance for Greening to get another one in. Thomas clears, and they can get their foot on the ball now if they wish, Burnley. Just content to try and get it clear, and the offside flag up against Akinbiyi. Nervous moments, though, for Burnley.
Well, good run by Albrechtsen. He gets in behind him here, does the hard bit. And look, maybe should have squared that back. So the arms go up in the air. Not really going to score from there. Just pull it back. Could have been 3-1.
Ellington. Duff got in well. Corran now, trying to be the architect of another move, just like the one that led to the Ellington goal. Well, there were two quick-fire goals for Tony Mowbray's boys within 1 minute and 17 seconds of each other, Koumas and Ellington. And then after a Dean Kiely throw-out, Burnley were the beneficiaries, and Andy Gray with his second goal in 2 games here on this ground. Got Burnley right back into it, and that's how we stand as we approach half-time. Kamara, good turn, and a foul as well.
He had him facing his own goal there. They didn't really need to foul him. 2 defenders getting tight. John Harley there and O'Connor ganging up. They shouldn't really be allowing that. They had him facing the wrong way. And Caldwell coming in behind them. Needless foul to give away. In a very, very dangerous position.
We'll take your pick from the West Bromwich Albion all-stars as to who will fancy this one. It'll be tough to get Jason Koumas off it, but there are plenty of others who can hit it.
Do you think it's too close maybe to get it up and down in time and over that wall? We go for power off this slick, greasy surface to beat Jensen. There's your 2 choices. Power and pace along the floor, or a chip over the wall.
I think if Neil Clement was available and in the side, he would certainly fancy one of his left foot bullets. But that an option not available to them, so Robinson will provide that if it is going to be the power. Koumas with the guile. Burnley with everybody back. Koumas will do it, but it's wide.
If you gain that corner, I think it's got to be the left footer. You see curling it the wrong way, if you like, and the keeper's already that way, so you're really curling it into him, so he's got a better chance of saving that. Robinson's on it with his left foot. He can start it outside the post and bring it in. The keeper has less of a chance. Wrong option for me.
Interesting to see, won't it, Tony, as the game goes on, whether the fact that Burnley are playing without pressure and Albion badly need this result might have any bearing on the match.
It's okay at this stage, Bill, but you know, 15-20 minutes to go, and then they start going for it, Burnley. Well, they have been going for it really anyway, but I mean, they really went for it at the end. I think it'd be nervy times for the Albion. I think they need another goal to settle their nerves.
A golden chance for them tonight to put a little bit of breathing space, and in comparative terms it's a lot of space between themselves and the chasing pack. 5 points if they can keep the scoreline in their favour between them and 7th place. Djemba-Djemba. Ellington pulled him to the ground. Burnley keen to get on with it. Duff. One from midfield from O'Connor. Here comes Robinson, the captain, with a tanking run forward. Now Kamara, more than capable of causing trouble from this sort of position. Robinson. Caldwell can clear. Back where it came from. Robinson back in the mix. Guerra's across there. The flag's gone up.
A good run from Robinson. Driving run from midfield. Fed it to Kamara and then went on his outside. See a little reverse pass. Looks up there. There's not a lot in the area really, so he tries to stand one up by standing it up. Gives his attackers a little bit more time to come onto it. Intelligent play, Robinson, but just didn't really get enough on the cross.
Here's another one playing through the pain. Paul Robinson has an injury that's causing him some problems, has to have pain-killing injections before every match. O'Connor. McCann across on the cover. O'Connor. Akinbiyi. McCann in very strongly there. Too strongly. There's going to be a card here.
Well, everyone's moaning, but
and it is a red one. A potentially pivotal moment for West Bromwich Albion, as yet again they have a man sent off.
My first opinion is that it's a collision of heads. It didn't look like an elbow. I'd like to see it again. Shane going over to have a look. Ball's up there to win. He comes over the top of two players. There goes the header. It's a collision of heads for me. Now, if that's a flailing elbow, I think the referee may have had a case. But for me, he's just mistimed the header. He's coming in, he's got his eye on the ball, and he heads the head of O'Connor. Now, I think that's a little bit unfortunate. He gets a yellow card, sure, but red card. And for me, it's not an elbow, it's a collision of heads. I think he's very, very unlucky. He's watching the ball dips on the breeze, smashes one head against the other.
Two men sent off last time out against Sheffield Wednesday. That's the 5th yellow card in the last 9 games for Albion.
There's the referee, he's only 5 yards away, Bill. O'Connor's under the flight of the ball. Greening doesn't want anything to do with it. Comes in for the header. For me, he's only got eyes for the ball. Now, sure, it's a collision. O'Connor doesn't know nothing about it. It's a collision of heads. He's mistimed the header and just smashed into the back of the head of O'Connor. For me, that's a poor decision. That isn't a flailing elbow, isn't an arm, collision of heads.
I think that's exactly what the West Bromwich Albion manager is saying. From a Burnley perspective, though, O'Connor with an almighty blow to the back of the head, and he is still lying down there in rather concerning lack of motion.
Well, I've got every sympathy for O'Connor, Bill, because he's just under the flight of the ball. All he's got eyes for is the ball as well, and he doesn't know what's coming in behind him. And McCann is a centre-back, he's going for the ball. Now, I've got every sympathy for this young man, because he's probably out the game, because it was a real smash of the two heads. Every sympathy whatsoever, but I don't believe it was a sending-off offence myself.
If you're looking at it to see what the referee might have seen in the incident, it was the acceleration into it and perhaps a dangerous play.
I think he's just got eyes for the ball. He's attacking the ball. You've already said it's a gusty night out there. The ball dips on him at the last moment, and it is a whack for young O'Connor. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. But he's attacking the ball. And he's out the game, poor young man. Look. There he is under the flight of the ball. He's unaware that McCann's coming in. McCann doesn't even look at him. He's trying to attack the ball as well. Ball dips at the last moment and he just heads the back of his head. Now that is really painful. But if it's a deliberate foul, you wouldn't be holding your head yourself, would you? Well, you must be a fool to be smashing your head into someone else's. I've got every sympathy for that young man. Oh, that was painful, wasn't it?
Very, very concerning as well for everyone, as the treatment continues for James O'Connor. They're having to do some tactical tinkering, the Burnley coaching staff, and it's going to be interesting, Tony, as we look ahead from this incident, how West Bromwich Albion are going to set themselves up. Mentioned the catalogue of absentees they've got at centre-half. Now you've got another one with a suspension looming as well. But Paul McCann playing no further part here.
James O'Connor out of it. It was painful, wasn't it? When you're unaware of anything, what's behind you, and you're not really anticipating that whack. It was some crack for him, wasn't it? It was a rash challenge, without a doubt. Not a challenge that warranted a red card for me, and a total accident.
The replacement for Burnley sees Chris McCann come on and replace James O'Connor, the young Dubliner. So we're now into added time, which has been signalled as 2 minutes. Burnley 1, 10-man West Bromwich Albion 2. Over half of the game remaining. Has to be said, mentioned all the red cards that they've had recently, West Bromwich Albion. That one very different from the two that they picked up late on against Sheffield Wednesday, as experienced players and younger players lost their head. Neil Clement and Darren Carter.
Well, Albrechtson stuck himself into centre-back alongside Chris Berryville.
Elliott looking to find a gap. Well, in Albrechtson they have a player who's well accomplished and well versed at playing at centre-half. Greening has dropped back to play as right-back.
I think it's the way forward, really, to play 4-3-2 and leave those two strikers up there, because they'll keep that back four occupied, the two strikers. For me, that's a better way to play the game, 4-4-1.
Djemba-Djemba. McCann. Oh, he's done well here, McCann. Trying to do a carbon copy of the goal scored by Jason Koumas. Ellington. Flicked away by Thomas. And that is the end of a thoroughly eventful first half here, which sees Tony Mowbray's side lead, but also again reduced to 10 men with the red card for Paul McShane. It all started so well as well, didn't it? A lovely taken goal by Jason Koumas, and in quick succession Nathan Ellington adding to his season's tally. It looked plain sailing, but then Dean Kiley gave it away to Gray, who needed no second invitation to pull one back, and perhaps the most significant event happening late on when Paul McShane thundered into the back of James O'Connor and saw a straight red card. Half-time score then, Burnley 1, West Bromwich Albion 2.
Well, how finely is this game balanced? Still controversy as they go off the pitch. We'll try and sort it all out for you at half-time. Tony Mowbray not very happy at all. We'll fill you in during the half-time break, and Don Goodman will go through it all for you, but plenty of action in the first half to talk about, that's for sure. A golden start by West Bromwich Albion. Then some colour in the cheeks of Burnley as Andy Gray gets them back into it. Then the colour was red for West Bromwich Albion, their 8th sending off of the season. Still to come tonight, coverage of the PFA Awards, 10 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. And then on Wednesday, fantastic Champions League semi-final, first leg, Chelsea against Liverpool from 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. It's also in high definition. Here at Turf Moor, tempting to say really, with West Bromwich Albion leading by 2-1, that everything's going against them. They're down to 10 men again. But they have the lead, Don Goodman, don't they? That's the thing, they have the lead.
Well, they've got something to hang on to, definitely. And we were just discussing the fact that they've got people like Kamara and Koumas. They may be dangerous on the break as well. So Burnley are going to have to be careful. They're going to go for it, Burnley. And most of the pressure I expect to be from Burnley on the West Brom goal.
They now have to slot another hole in the middle of defence, don't they?
They do, but Albrechtson has played there many times before, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah. Just a quick word on James O'Connor. He's gone to Burnley General Hospital for a checkup, but things are looking much better. He's come round, and that's a precaution, so we wish him all the very best. Let's go back to the game. Second half coming up. It's Burnley 1, West Bromwich Albion 2. Albion down to 10 men. Paul McShane sent off. Tony Gale and Bill Leslie.
Well, nobody at the top of the Coca-Cola Championship this season seems to know how to do things the easy way. The most enthralling race up there, isn't it? Just those 3 points between the 2 points rather between the top three. 3 points between the 7 behind them. West Bromwich Albion have it in their hands here at Turf Moor, but it's going to need an almighty effort to hold on to this lead here against the Burnley side, who would love nothing more than to put a spanner in the Albion's works. We saw that substitution late on when James O'Connor was stretchered off. And Chris McCann coming on. There are no further changes to either side at the start of this second half. Kamara, Djemba-Djemba. Away by Perry. And this is Duff. Now Nathan Ellington. It's a good challenge on Koumas by McCann, but the visitors still have it. And the Tony Mowbray philosophy is, I'm sure, and will be in this second half, Tony, that the best form of defence will be to attack and get a third, restore the 2-goal buffer they gave themselves so early on. Here's Ellington.
Well, he's left his 2 strikers on, Bill, Ellington and Kamara, going 4-3-2. Now, the interesting thing about that, I think, is that, you know, in midfield, the three players that he's got Curran, Gira and Koumas. Now you've got 2 attacking players in that midfield 3, so it's quite enterprising.
It's funny, isn't it, when you look at West Bromwich Albion's form, and it's been patchy in different ways as the season has gone on. And they used to have the stronghold at the Hawthorns and always seem to slip up on the road. Well, that's completely spun around now, and their recent successes have all been away from home, and they've struggled to pick up points in front of their home fans.
He's got a more durable midfield player on the bench, Bill, in Chaplow, but if he brings him on, I maybe think Tony Mowbray's thinking maybe, well, I won't keep the ball as well as when I've got Gira and Koumas. So enterprising from Tony Mowbray, and we'll see how it works out for the Albion.
Chaplow would love to get a taste of the action here, back at his former club, local lad, and still a Burnley supporter. Gray. This is Elliott. Fancies he has the beating of Robinson, but Robinson had other ideas. Burnley have the corner.
Well, he looked like he gave himself too much to do there, Elliott, but he done well really to stop it going over the dead ball line. Gives him a chance to get a bit of pressure on the West Brom's goal.
Caldwell has come forward. McCann in the mix as well, and Duff. Plenty of aerial prowess available for Burnley if they can find the right ball through Elliott. Deep towards Thomas. Gray trying to glance it goalwards, and it's gone in for Andy Gray. A second for Gray, and Burnley have come back to level the scores.
Well, how many goals do you see like this? Poaching just in front of the keeper. Now they're a man short, and the man short that they are, McShane, is good in the air, so there is a marker short at set pieces. Up they get at the far post. Thomas is Gray with the first one there, and he just gets that swing of the leg in. It gets sort of jarred between him and Curran. You can see it comes down there. It's a good little turn, reacts well, and in on goal. Great position to be, in front of the keeper, just poaching away there.
A goal that will be celebrated up and down the land by many clubs. Is this going to be a night where West Bromwich Albion drop vital points in the promotion race? Preston, Wolves, Southampton, Stoke, Colchester, Sheffield Wednesday, all look on. Koumas. And that was a golden chance to level it up. Albrechtsen has ballooned it wide.
It's not an easy one. It's certainly a very good chance on that far post. Gets behind his marker, you see, spins round the back, gets in there behind Andy Gray, and I think he's just got to get that down. Gets under the flight of the ball, tries to do a little bit too much on it for me. Just get that poking towards the goal, and that's 3-2.
So close to hitting right back. Here's Koumas. A real examination of the character in Tony Mowbray's side now. McCann looking for Akinbiyi, Akinbiyi with a weak finish to a very promising Clarets move.
Well, I'll be kind and say it's on his weaker left side. He really looks like he's not going to score at all. This is such a poor technique. Look, it's on his wrong foot, but look at that. That's pretty lame stuff, isn't it, from Akinbiyi? That was a good chance. Needed to get a much firmer strike on that.
Gira has got a little nudge there from John Harley. Koumas. Burnley tails are really up. The Turf Moor roar is certainly in evidence. Time for cool heads. The referee has a big job down there as well. The feeling certainly around the crowd still there from the red card given to Paul McShane at the end of the first half, and there's a yellow here for Harley.
They're just coming a little bit late in on Gira.
Greening. Ellington got the glance.
Give us the fucking ball!
That's Cotterill. Now Harley. Inside Greening. Trying to thread it through to Gray, who's on the hunt for a hat-trick.
Well, it should be the cue for John Harley, really now with 11 against 10, to really push on down this left-hand side. Obviously the three in midfield are going to be a little bit narrow, aren't they? Gira, Cotterill and Koumas not going to defend that well, those three. Really push forward the full-backs and get in support of their wide players.
This is Duff. Given away cheaply. Kamara had his heels clipped. Good advantage played by the referee. And Koumas looking to take advantage in towards camera. And it's flicked away by Harley on the cover.
Good cover by Harley, because that was a very clever ball from Koumas, flicked with the outside of his foot. Running at full pace, he spotted Kamara. I think he's just waiting to pull the trigger there, and Harley got in there to intercept.
Elliott, the latest recipient of a yellow card.
A little bit card happy now, I think, the referee.
It's just one foul too many from Wade Elliott. In the mind of Michael Jones, the referee, who's having a busy evening, to say the least. The third Burnley player that goes into the book. Koumas. It goes without saying that he could provide the key to which way this game will swing. Thomas. This is Caldwell. Cora unable to steal in. To release Ellington. They formed a very encouraging partnership though, and after a shaky start, the central defensive pair of Burnley have looked pretty solid, Thomas and Caldwell.
Interesting to see now how well Burnley passed the ball, Bill. 11 against 10. It's a chance for them to get their foot on the ball and pass it around and use that spare man. See how good they are.
Gira the target here. That came off the back of Harley and it's fallen nicely for Zoltan Gira.
Here's the second goal, the equaliser from Andy Gray in that poacher's position, headed down there by Thomas. And Corrin comes back to intercept, and watch the change of direction from the ball. Corrin hits it, goes back onto Gray, and Gray gets the goal. I think it's Gray's goal. There you see, Corrin onto Gray. I think he's got to be a little bit more powerful with that challenge, Corrin. He's got to go through it, get the clearance away.
Harley just zipped away from him. I'm sure one of the messages from Tony Mowbray at half-time was, let's try and hold on to this lead for at least a little bit. In the end, it was just about 3 minutes that they managed to. Akinbiyi, that's where he is so strong, holding off 2-3, but it's Kamara who comes clear. Koumas. Plenty of space for him to burst forward into. Might be down to 10 men, but there's still a very ever-present threat about the visitors here. Kamara.
Enough players, Bill, who can hold the ball in these positions and run 40-50 yards of it. Kamara, Koumas, Corrin as well, Gira. I don't think their problems are going to be with the ball, I think they're going to be without it. So that's why we're going to have an interesting second half.
Jones. McCann back into the path of the former crewman who has Corrin for company.
Good tracking back by Corrin, coming back. Block up this left-hand side, he's going to have to do plenty of that in this second half.
McCann, target Akinbiyi, interception Perry. This is Duff. Took a deflection, and it's come for Gray. Now Harley. That's a clever ball. Elliott couldn't capitalise.
Oh, not the best of headers, was it? A bit powder puff for me. Lovely little ball from John Harley, but this is a wide player's header. Look, gets in there. Where's the power there? It's got to be going the other corner. Back across goal, you can generate the power. Ball coming one way, go back the other. It's not the best of headers, is it, from Elliott? Good chance.
And that's been among the goals recently. Wade Elliott scored in the win here against Norwich. Yet again, nail-biting stuff in the Championship. Sure, West Bromwich Albion thinking now that a point wouldn't be such a bad result. Very different from the way they were thinking after those two quick goals within the space of 77 seconds of each other in the first 8 minutes of the game. Burnley have showed their character, which has ended their winless run and got them going in the right direction up the table.
Moaning for the foul, the fans here, but there's much wrong with that. John Greening getting across the path for Jones. Just thinking, Bill, up front, haven't seen a lot of Ellington. Really got to do a little bit more for me. Nathan Ellington, and seen a bit of Kamara, a bit of Koumas, Gira, Corrin. Not much of Nathan Ellington. Yeah, he's right up there. With Kamara dropping a little bit deep at times, he's got to do a bit more for me, a bit more of holding the ball and getting in behind. And put himself about a little bit more. It's not just about scoring goals, it's doing a little bit for the team as well in these sort of positions. That one's a little bit too hard for him to get onto, but a little bit more work rate for me.
Well, it's always the way, isn't it, when you go down to 10 men, that an extra 10% is required from everyone out there. And that's what Albion will have to find in there to negotiate these stormy times ahead here. Just over half an hour to go. And another yellow card, this time for Kamara.
There's Kamara at least showing a little bit, wanting to come back and try and help the situation, but when the attackers come back and defend, they're liable to make these kind of challenges. Look, sloppy challenge. That was Djemba-Djemba, he can't have any grumbles.
This is Harley. A deflection on the cross has made it an awkward one. McCann showed too much to Corrin. Koumas and Greening. Perry. Ellington, not a faint toe to it, but not enough to alter the course. Albrechtsen. This is Akinbiyi. Now Harley. McCann. Martin Albrechtsen got it too long on the ball, and Harley has it back for Burnley.
Well, there was the case, Albrechtsen getting his head up. Ellington went about 70 yards away. He needed to come running over, get himself in the channel, and just giving him a little bit of an outlet, but he stayed on the angle. No way Albrechtsen was going to reach that, and didn't do anything for him at all, and he got caught on the ball.
Both sides surrendering possession just a little bit at the moment. Akinbiyi. Wade Elliott. Elliott able to come onto this one. Gray takes up his position in the centre. Corner kick.
And good defending by Robinson. One-on-one situation. Elliott running at him. Stands up to the last moment. Doesn't make Elliott's mind up for him. And then eventually, when he does go to ground, is to get his block in, and he does so for a corner. The problems on the last one, marking. Let's see if they can defend this one a bit better. Without McShane, they're a marker down.
Usual suspects have come forward. Thomas is in there. And the header from McCann, somehow blocked by Kiley. An absolutely vital stop by Dean Kiley.
Oh, there it is, McCann on. I wonder if he's been picked up on the team sheet, if they've marked him down. He's the substitute who's come on for a small man in O'Connor. Gets in the area, totally free, and that's a great save from Dean Kiley. Gets it up in the air, and he gives his defenders a chance to get back and defend it. If he taps that down, attackers are on for a goal. Great save, good stiff wrist from Dean Kiley.
A change for Albion. And the former Burnley boy, Richard Chaplow, back on his old stamping ground. And this will signal Kamara playing that lone striking role, and a little bit more midfield reinforcement in the introduction of Chaplow.
Well, Chaplow can sit there with Corrin now for me, and it just allow maybe Koumas and Gira to play slightly in front and supporting Kamara. It wasn't a surprise for me. Ellington wasn't doing a lot up there, in that he's an out-and-out goal scorer for me, and if he's not playing alongside someone, he's going to struggle a little bit. And they had the 10 men, I think they needed the outlet, and he wasn't the one to be so.
Koumas. Albrechtsen. Greening was looking for Chaplow. Well, he more than atoned for his first half error, didn't he, with that save, Dean Kiely. Giving the ball away for Andy Gray's first goal with the throw out, but terrific stop to keep West Bromwich Albion on level terms.
It was unlike him to make an error like he did in the first half, Bill, because he's a very good keeper for me, very experienced.
Here's Akinbiyi, just taking it too far though, and Kiely can gather the shot.
Needed to hold it in there, because he was never going to score from that angle.
Gira. Thomas. It's a bit like a hot potato, the ball at the moment. Either side really having any meaningful possession. Here's McCann, time to turn and get his shot away. Kiely felt he had the measure of that.
Yeah, pulled the arms down, Dean Kiely. He knew that was going over for me. McCann sits in that little hole. That's clever play, then hits across the ball, tries to get it curling away, but doesn't quite keep it down, does he? And Dean Kiely knows that.
He's part of the exciting crop of young talent they've got on their books here at Burnley, Chris McCann, and very much an educational season for him, as well as the Northern Irish striker Kyle Lafferty, who's had a great season both for club and country, involved in Maurice Sanchez's Northern Ireland squads and played a part in that tremendous win against Sweden, which sees Northern Ireland top of their qualification group. Not featuring tonight though, still suffering from tiredness, getting a bit of a rest. Here's Elliott, trying not to give any sort of rest to the Albion rearguard. This is great. Interesting that since he returned to the goal-scoring chance with that one here against Norwich last Tuesday, took his tally for the season to 11. His manager said, right, I want 15 from you now this season, 2 today. So he's not doing badly with 2 games left to play after this.
If he gets 2 in the next game then, Bill, we can forget about the last one, can't he? He can have a day off.
He gets 2 in the next one. I'm sure that the chasing pack at the top will be absolutely delighted. Birmingham and Derby. Burnley, of course, at Sunderland next time out.
Actually, I was thinking about that, about all the playoff hopefuls, all the fans around the grounds, all watching this one, praying that Burnley push on now, try and get this victory. Being fair to Burnley, they've made a real fist of it, haven't they, after going 2-0 down. I think that's a sign of the Championship. We've seen it recently in the Premiership as well.
Well, a reminder that we have Burnley's next action live at the Stadium of Light this Friday from 7:30. It's on Sky Sports 2 and in high definition as well. And another significant afternoon in prospect at Crystal Palace on Sunday from 1 o'clock as Derby County are the visitors to Selhurst Park. Sky Sports 1 and again HD1 channel 408. It seems at the moment, doesn't it, that every single championship match has so much riding on it. We're now into the final quarter of this one, and what drama we've had so far. 2 early West Bromwich Albion goals, a Burnley fight back, and in that, a controversial red card for West Bromwich Albion's Paul McShane. Albrechtsen, his replacement in the heart of the Baggies' defence.
I wouldn't like to be that stat man come the last game of the season, Bill, when there could be so many permutations of who's going to get in those playoff spots. I think it could be changing minute by minute. Last game of the season, it's really going to go down to the wire, and again, the playoffs have really proved to be an exciting introduction, haven't they? And it goes right on to the end of the season for me, and it's fantastic.
You could well go into the final day with any of 10 clubs, and you include the top 3 in that, not knowing whether it will be their last game of the season or not. Here's Harley to take on Chaplow. Greening, all a little bit nervy, but it's clear. Kamara. Now Koumas, just the sort of area where he'll like to pick it up. He's got options as well. Corrin makes the move.
There's too much delay on the pass there, for Koumas to Corrin. He needed to play that earlier. Really put him in a no-win situation in the end.
Elliott. Well, there's movement down on that Burnley bench. Paul McVeigh, who they've got on loan from Norwich here, is going to come on, and he's been on the goal-scoring trail since he moved to Lancashire from East Anglia. 2 in 5 goals after not scoring in over 20 for Norwich this season. He's going to replace Akinbiyi as Burnley up it, looking for the 3 points. Akinbiyi. No goals for him, but a contribution to the cause again. And I think the general feeling at Burnley is that the best is yet to come from him again, to rediscover that form that he had here last season, and that will probably come when he's had a full pre-season under his belt. McCann. This time the space is closed down by Chaplow. Koumas. Denied by Duff. There is Duff, who's more accustomed to play at centre-half himself. And the departure of Frank Sinclair to Huddersfield on loan. And it looks like that'll be a permanent move in the summer. He's been filling in that particular department since the arrival of this man as well, Caldwell. Here's McVeigh, looking to feed in. The runner from the right-hand side, Steve Jones.
That's what McVeigh will do. He'll drop off into deep little positions, try and set things up. Different to Akinbiyi, totally different. Have a little striker who likes coming off with his marker and setting the play up. Really got one in there, but good bit of covering from Greening.
Caldwell still looking for his first goal since his January move here to Turf Moor. McCann, who had an excellent opportunity a few moments ago. That's well defended, though, by West Bromwich Albion. Djemba-Djemba and Kamara, who has already been booked, as has Djemba-Djemba clash. What's the referee going to do here? He's already shown 1 red card to an Albion player.
I don't think he's going to do anything, Bill, and I think you'd be right not to either. He sends him off. It will be a poor decision for me. I think he's half pulling out of it. Djemba-Djemba goes there, and look, he's pulling out of the challenge, and he just clips him. That's the correct decision to me from the referee.
I just wonder if he wasn't on a yellow card already, whether he might have gone into the book for that. And this is in a good position for John Harley, if Burnley decide that's the way forward. Loves to strike it with that left foot of his. Elliott also standing over it. The usual suspects up from the back as well. Thomas with a late run. Elliott. And there was Caldwell who got that.
It's a free header. Gets himself into a nice little position. I think he should be better there. Stephen Caldwell should be keeping this one down. He's up, he's above it. Heading it towards goal. Nowhere near getting over the top of it.
It's Kevin Phillips' time for West Bromwich Albion. Wouldn't it be just like him to come on and change the course of this game again? Well, Djemba-Djemba taken off, and I just wonder if his decision is influenced at all by the fact that Kamara's walking a disciplinary tightrope.
Yeah, maybe one sloppy challenge from going off, and that would be a blow, wouldn't it? He's an experienced man, Kevin Phillips coming on up front. Give him a chance, I'm sure he'll score.
Well, he's done it time and time again for the Baggies this season. Seldom has their need been as pressing as this. Albrechtsen glanced it away from the path of the on-rushing McVeigh. Here's Cotterill. Koumas. Gira. Phillips. And Koumas. No surprise to see plenty of claret and blue around Jason Koumas as soon as he gets into a dangerous position. Very, very difficult for West Bromwich Albion, hasn't it been in recent weeks, since they hit the top of the table back in February. Well, it's all gone awry, hasn't it? 2 wins in their last 10 games in all competitions. Seemed to be when they crashed out of the FA Cup after that replay to Middlesbrough that confidence just seemed to go. Certainly the results stopped coming.
And they have been sort of stuttering into these playoffs, Bill, haven't they? Sort of falling into them, rather. Everybody says about momentum going into the playoffs, but I know it can be a big thing, but I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to the playoffs, quite honestly. On the day, isn't it? Semi-final and final. Remember West Ham stuttering into the playoffs, getting in there last day of the season and then winning it quite convincingly second time round against Preston. And that was a stutter.
This is Steve Jones. Did well to pick out the cross. And the whistle blows for the foul on Robinson by Wade Elliott. Well, despite all the events here, if they do manage to hold on for a point, West Brom, then it will be enough to take them above Preston on goal difference into 4th place. John Spicer, the latest to be introduced for Burnley. Djemba-Djemba. A chase for Gray. We've got a slightly favourable bounce, but there's the experience of Perry. There's the touch of Koumas. Here's Chaplow. And Gray.
On 2 occasions he had to pass the ball there, Chaplow, and held on to it. Needs to move it a lot quicker than that.
He has got it away this time. Here's Kevin Phillips. Chaplow the most advanced for the Albion at the moment. Difficult equation, isn't it, for the visitors here? Now they dearly love to score and pick up all 3 points. They're desperate not to lose and go away with nothing.
Only looked one winner early on, Bill, didn't it, when they got off to that lightning start, 2-0 up. Just that sloppy goal when they gave it away. Harley trying to throw it out in the middle of the park, and it just reawoke Burnley. And here he goes again.
And busy with his yellow cards in this second half, Michael Jones, and here's one for Zoltan Gira.
Very busy. Let's hope he's got a button on that top pocket.
McVeigh delivers and Kylie can catch. And for all the yellows in the second half, it's the ready show towards the end of the first, which will provide the game's big talking point, no doubt. I say that Tony Mowbray will have plenty to say about that. Only needed to see his reaction at half-time. After looking at the replays, it does seem that McShane, although it was a rash challenge, it certainly wasn't a red card one. That seems to be the general consensus of opinion about it. Caldwell. McVeigh. Just asking too much of Steve Jones, wasn't he?
It's a shame because he sat in that little pocket nicely there, McVeigh, received it defeat from Caldwell, but done the hard thing and then messed the easy thing up, just trying to play it out wide.
Phillips causing problems for Thomas. He's got the deflection and he's got the corner.
Something out of nothing, wasn't it? Thomas was favourite there and used all his experience to try and get his body across him. Kevin Phillips got his shot away in the end. Blocked for a corner. Certainly didn't look like he was going anywhere. But that experience just allowed him to manoeuvre a position for himself.
A rare bit of time spent in the opposition's last third here. A Koumas corner. Albrechtsen makes his run at the far post and Jensen, the former West Bromwich Albion goalkeeper, can claim.
And there's the attempts. 10-all. Burnley shading it with the on-target attempt, 6-3.
Harley, McVeigh, offside.
Well, good defending. You can see they just step up in time as the ball's delivered. Very close. They just step up in time. To be fairness to Albion, I think they've defended well second half. Conceded that early goal from the corner, but other than that, they haven't really threatened the goal too much, Burnley.
sure as well in the post-match, post-mortem, there'll be more than a look at that first Burnley goal where there was more than a hint of offside.
Yeah, definitely. And the controversial sending off, and I think Harley maybe atoned for that. He had a super stop from the header, wasn't it, in the second half, where he palmed it in the air.
This is great work from Steve Jones. Here is Jones again to Caldwell. Of all the three that they've played up in that lone striking role since the first half red card and the tactical reorganisation, Kevin Phillips is giving the Burnley defence most to think about. Well, the way that events have gone here since they surrendered their 2-goal lead, I'm sure that West Bromwich Albion will settle for the fact that they'll leave here with their playoff fate still very much in their own hands. 2 games left, Coventry away, Barnsley at home. Win those and they will be in the playoffs. Something tells you, though, it won't be quite that simple. Here's Duff.
Well, we do look like we're petering out into a draw now, Bill, at 2-2, don't we? Difficult for Albion to commit anyone forward really in support of Kevin Phillips in the end, which was looking like a, should we say, an easy 3 points after taking that lightning start. Doesn't look like a bad point after going down to 10 men.
Will be if it stays like this. No ground really lost, but not enough quite made up to be comfortable, and it could get worse. McCann, a thrill goal for Burnley. Chris McCann with a hammer blow to Albion hopes.
Oh, there's that spare man coming through midfield. I don't think Kylie's got a chance. I don't think it's the cleanest of headers from McCann. As the ball comes in, there seemed to be a little bit of a loop on the header. Maybe intimating that it came off his shoulder. I think it may have as well. See, the ball comes in from the right-hand side from Duff. In he gets there. Does he head it cleanly? No, it's off his shoulder. Look at that. Bursting into the area, goes for the header, bang, off the shoulder, goal. He'll say it's the cleanest header that I've ever done in my life. Well done, that young man.
A scoreline which must read like nails on a blackboard for West Bromwich Albion supporters. Just as we were talking about a little bit of ground made up, they took a giant step backwards. What must he be thinking?
Oh dear, oh dear. Who'd be a manager? I don't think they can believe it, can they? 2 up, no danger at all. 2-1, go down to 10 men, 2-2, and then look at that one. A little bit of a, shall we say, a freaky goal at the end, and maybe the winner at 3-2. Try and pick your team up for the next game.
McVeigh. 90 seconds of normal time remaining. Looks like for the first time in 8.5 years, West Bromwich Albion will surrender a 2-goal lead and lose a game. After 5 months without a win, Burnley on course for their 5th in 6 games. it all means a further smile on their faces as they approach the summer holidays. For West Bromwich Albion, it all means further agony as they stumble and bumble their way towards a playoff place. Gray, who's contributed with 2 of the Burnley 3. Phillips. This is Greening. Well, we were talking to Steve Cotterill before the game and talking about the topsy-turvy match earlier in the season against Preston when they were 2-1 down with about 10 minutes to go and came back to win it 3-2. He said, I'm not sure I want to go through the mill like that again. But his side have come from 2-0 down here to lead West Bromwich Albion by 3 goals to 2. They're 3 minutes away from a famous win, but they have Koumas to contend with. They have Kira on the charge. Koumas has stayed down. This is Chaplow, the former Burnley man, wouldn't stick with him. Robinson. Corran. Can the Baggies steal something from nothing? Koumas has to look on as Chaplow puts it behind.
He looks a beaten man, doesn't he? He's got to go into work tomorrow. He's got to go in with a face beaming. He's got to be smiling. He's got to pick his boys up, and he's got to get them going again. It's not all over this season. It's a poor result tonight, no doubt about that, but who'd have thought the way the events have gone against them, and I do think it has gone against them tonight. I think the sending off was unfair actually on McShane, and that's changed the game for me. But when things start going against you, it's very hard to turn the tide, but as a manager you have to pick your players up, and the work starts tomorrow for me.
McVeigh. It's not just been this one either, has it? It was very painful, the manner of defeat last week against Sheffield Wednesday. Again, red cards involved. I'm sure they'll appeal that red card against McShane and he may not be suspended, but the fact is they may go into those last 2 games finally against Barnsley and next time out against Coventry without yet another central defender. Koumas. Gray. It's on by McCann. Thomas. A look at the watch from the referee, who certainly played a pivotal role tonight. Albrechtsen. West Bromwich Albion are beaten for the 6th times in 9 games. Just 2 to go and they make up no ground at all in the extraordinary race for the Premiership. All this after they went 2-0 up in the first 10 minutes of the game, but 2 goals from Andy Gray as he continues his goal-scoring purple patch and return to form. And a winner right at the death from the teenager Chris McCann. Long faces for West Bromwich Albion, and may well there be. Despite an expertly taken goal from Jason Koumas, followed 70 seconds later by one from Nathan Ellington, they couldn't hold on. The red card for Paul McShane may have been unfortunate, but it all led to a massively disappointing night in Lancashire for the men from the West Midlands. The final scoreline reads: Burnley 3, West Bromwich Albion 2.
Well, in theory, Burnley had nothing to play for tonight. What a performance from them. And their manager, Steve Cotterill. Outstanding. Looks like this in the Coca-Cola Championship at the top. And what a weekend we've had. Sunderland have lost, Preston have lost, West Bromwich Albion have lost, and Wolves have lost all this weekend. And Wolves are just behind West Bromwich Albion in the table still, both on 70 points. All the way down to Sheffield Wednesday, very much still interested. Burnley up a place today to 15th. 5 wins in 6 games for them, 57 points, same as Norwich, better goal difference. And more live football coming up for you in this amazing season in the Championship. It is Sunderland against Burnley, 7:30 on Sky Sports 2 and in high definition. On Sunday, it's Crystal Palace against Derby, 1 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 and also in high definition. And tomorrow, the Scottish Cup semi-final between Hibernian and Dunfermline, 7:30, Sky Sports 2, and that again is in high definition as well. Burnley have come from 2 goals down to beat West Bromwich Albion 3-2. Andy Gray getting 2 of the goals, and then Chris McCann the winner. Andy Gray is the man of the match. He's alongside Chris McCann, and they're both with Bryn Law.
Well, Chris, super sub role for you, I think, there, wasn't it?
Yeah, just came on, just tried to influence the game, and luckily enough went on, got a lucky winner, came out my shoulder, so but the count, you know, so delighted with the win.
There was a good reaction in the second half from the team, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, we said at half time like we needed to up it a bit. It was a bit of a sloppy start, but we came out of the traps really very quick in the second half, and it was good to see.
Well, you got the winning goal, but the contribution before that, the 2-goal contribution before that, was from Andy Gray. Andy, pleased with your work this evening?
Obviously, yeah, it's nice to get a win and 2 goals, yeah.
The second goal, definitely yours?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, well, definitely, yeah. Got a touch and that's all that counts.
Now, you didn't have a lot, perhaps, at stake to motivate you tonight, but you did a good job, didn't you? You did everything that was asked of you.
I think so, yeah. I mean, there's teams in the league that, you know, we've been watching the game interestingly tonight. We had to put in a performance for all them and ourselves as well, really. You know, we've won our last 4 home games, I think, and we want to carry on now to the end of the season.
At half-time, I'm sure there was concern about your teammate, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was a terrible injury. I was quite close to him, and fortunately, I think he's regained consciousness and he's gone to hospital. So hopefully, he's all right.
Unlucky red card in the circumstances?
I don't know really. All I saw really was he took a lot with him. I know that, and he was in a bad way. But luckily, he's all right, I think.
So ultimately, a good night for Burnley and a good night for yourself with the goals, and you also get the Powerade Man of the Match award. If you do the honours, please, Chris.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers, thanks a lot.
Well done.
Cheers, man.
Burnley certainly have done their job for the rest of the teams. 10 clubs still trying to get a bite of the golden apple, and that hasn't changed this evening either. Fantastic performance by Burnley. West Bromwich Albion have some questions to answer, Don, don't they, really, this evening? We'll go through it, and what a start they made, though. 2 goals up very early on after 8 minutes.
Well, they were showing all the qualities of a top team, weren't they? They stamped their authority on the game right from the kick-off, and the first 8 minutes, it was almost game over. First goal comes, lovely build-up, but there's a couple of fantastic touches by Jason Koumas and a terrific shot. And he's shown in the first 6 minutes the quality that he's got to influence a game at this level particularly. Look at that fantastic strike.
Best player outside the Premiership?
I would agree, yes, I would agree. And, you know, sometimes comes in for a little bit of stick about his work rate, but he's worked tirelessly tonight. He's been back in his own penalty box making tackles. So
you were close to making him man the match, weren't you? It was in balance until the winner went in, I suppose, really. And
I think so, yeah. I think it was between the 2 lads.
Yeah. Andy Gray gets it in the end. But Nathan Ellington, not a great game for him. He was pulled off later on, wasn't he? But
was, you know, he's got a goal, hasn't he? I mean, apart from that, I think Tony Gale was mentioning he was fairly static tonight. I don't know if he's carrying anything, but
handball.
You can't give that for handball. No, he gets a little bit of luck. Goes to head the ball and it redirects it off his arm. It's completely accidental, of course, but I think that deflection actually influences where the ball ends up. I'm not sure it would have ended up in the net had it not hit his arm on the way through.
From that point on, Don, the story really is all about Burnley. So let's hear from their manager, Steve Cotterill. He's with Bryn now.
Steve, bad start, good end.
I think that sums it up. I think it was an awful start by us. Everything we'd spoke about, we'd done wrong in the first 5 minutes. We spoke about Jason Koumas coming in off the line and how we felt we were going to deal with it. We dealt with it better when we're 2-0 down. But the only thing is, it can be too late then. So pleased with the spirit, pleased that we've come back. And I'll be pleased to get in the shower because I'm sweating my socks off here.
Plenty of controversy, but there was worry as well around the injury to your player, O'Connor.
Yeah, I mean, the controversy, you're thinking about the sending off, presumably. Well, I haven't seen it. From what I've heard, it's not a sending off. So I need to look at it. We wouldn't wish that anyway, even though that's probably been a turning point in the game. We'd be honest enough to say that. They're a very good team, West Brom. And, you know, they're even difficult to play with 10 men. They're very good on the ball. An excellent team. We've got some excellent players. We wish them all the best for the rest of the season, but obviously we wanted to get the points tonight.
If you'd have started this run just that little bit earlier, you'd have been like the teams down to 10 who are still chasing the playoffs, wouldn't you?
Yeah, all ifs and buts though. We haven't done it, so we just need to make sure we finish on a good note now. We've got a couple of great games. We've got a great game on Friday night against Sunderland, and another game, last game of the season at home to Coventry. So we want to try and finish them as well as we can.
Thanks, Steve. Well done.
You're welcome.